Hey, welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. Glad you could join us. Today in Easy Theory is part 1 on a series involving modes. We're going to keep this pretty easy so that you can grasp the idea of what modes are. Okay, so let's just get to it, and be sure to like and subscribe to Outsmart Your Guitar along the way. When the subject of modes comes up, a lot of people kind of just suddenly go deaf and blind, don't want to hear it because they think modes are really involved and complicated. Well, they can be, just as the pentatonic scales can be pretty involved when you get beyond just learning to play them. How you use them and employ them is where the levels of complexity come into play. So what I'm doing here in this series is basically presenting a primer on the 7 fundamental modes in music, okay? And I want to just introduce you to them in a way that is easy to understand, and you'll actually play in each of these modes and get a sense of the moods that are possible using each of these modes, okay? That's really at the heart of it. What you see on screen are 7 notes, and these particular notes are the major scale in the key of A. We're going to be using these 7 notes throughout this whole series, so it keeps it simple. This major scale, its official name is the Ionian mode. The Ionian mode is the first of the 7 fundamental modes and the scale used to define the 7 modes. All right? You'll understand this as we move forward. It's really not hard at all. On the right side of the screen, you see the 7 fundamental modes in order of occurrence, beginning with Ionian, then Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and finally Locrian. The cool thing is, after you get to Locrian, it starts all over again as you move up in pitch. So the octave would be Ionian again, and then Dorian, Phrygian, etc. Okay? Each one of these modes is, in and of itself, a different scale, and so defined by a different pattern. And this is what we're going to be getting into specifically, is showing you the primary pattern of each of these 7 modes. This is what keeps it simple and easy to understand. All right? Let me demonstrate how these 7 notes, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, and G sharp, are used to define each of the 7 modes. All right? We start with Ionian, and we're going to be here at the 5th fret as our starting point because we have the Ionian in A. All right? So we go through the notes, starting with A, up to the octave A. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. The second mode is Dorian. It begins on the 2nd tone of the Ionian mode. So A, B. And you play through the notes in order up to the octave B. So the Dorian mode is B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. The third mode is the Phrygian mode, starting on the 3rd note of the Ionian mode, A, B, C sharp. So you're seeing a pattern here, right? Each mode begins on the next highest note of the Ionian mode scale. So in Phrygian, we're starting in C sharp. We're going to go to C sharp, playing through the notes in order. C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp. The Lydian mode begins on the fourth note of the Ionian mode. A, B, C sharp, D. And we'll just play to the octave. So D to D is the Lydian mode, playing through those 7 notes. D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D. You can see already, you can hear the difference between each of these modes. They have a different sound, right? Okay, let's keep going. The fifth note is the fifth mode is the Mixolydian mode, and it starts on the 5th note of the scale. So A, B, C sharp, D, E, and we go to E, right? So playing through it from E to E. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E. The Aeolian mode starts on the 6th note of the Ionian mode. All right, so it's the 6th scale degree, as we might say officially. So A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, to F sharp. F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. And finally, the Locrian mode is the 7th mode, starting on the 7th note of the Ionian mode. So A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, going to G sharp. All right? G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp. That then brings us all the way back to A, but an octave higher. And the beauty of modes is it's circular. Once you've gone through the cycle, you start over again just an octave higher. So the Ionian, an octave higher, is A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. And so Dorian, right, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, and back to Ionian. And you just keep going until you run out of notes. Okay? So, if you need to rewind this and listen to the demonstration again, go ahead and do that. Run through these yourselves as well and see how it works. It's very straightforward and very easy to understand. Each mode is a scale unto itself with a little bit different character, a different mood than the others. Stay with me now, because what's coming up is going to be really a lot of fun, and you're going to want to really take advantage of this. Again, as I've been saying, we're trying to keep this easy to understand, but there are some foundational things that you just have to accept, and we want to cover them to help you really get at least the idea of what's going on here. So this is why the diagram on screen. Basically, as a reflection of what you just went through, we're just writing it out now. As you can see, the Ionian mode, the first mode of the 7 fundamental modes, has the 7 tones, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, and G sharp. Now, the second scale degree of the Ionian mode is B, and that's the first note of the Dorian mode, played B to B, running through the notes in order. Phrygian is the third scale degree of the Ionian mode, C sharp, running from C sharp in order up to the octave C sharp. And so through the subsequent remaining modes to Locrian, which starts on the 7th scale degree of G sharp, runs in order up to the octave G sharp. And then, as I mentioned, the beauty is it starts all over again. That circular nature. Now you're back to the Ionian mode, just an octave higher, A to A, running through the major scale. All right? So study this diagram for a couple of minutes just to get the idea clear in your head. Don't worry about memorization. Just get the idea clear in your head. All right? The next section is where we get into actually looking at the individual modes and helping you learn to play them so that you can have a clear idea of what they're all about. This, as I said, is just a primer, an introduction to understanding that modes are pretty cool and to help you decide if you really want to dive into learning modes, which I hope you do, because you benefit by having this knowledge here and here, right? Okay, so stay with me and keep going. The Ionian mode, in the upper left-hand corner, there are the notes playing the scale tones, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A. All right? Now, in the lower left-hand corner is the diagram, or the pattern laid out for you to see. 6th string on the left, 1st string on the right. You'll see finger and then vertical 1, 2, 3, 4. That basically is saying that your first finger is going to play everything at the 4th fret, your second finger everything at the 5th fret, your third finger everything at the 6th fret, and your fourth finger everything at the 7th fret. All right? So you see the big 5, that's the fret, and the open circle is the root tone. So you play that at the 6th string at the 5th fret with your second finger, and that's A. You play the 7th fret with your 4th finger, that's B. Play the 4th fret of the 5th string with your first finger, and that is C sharp. Second finger at the 5th fret, D. 4th finger at the 7th fret, E. Move over to the 4th string at the 4th fret, and that is F sharp. Play the 6th fret of the same string, and you are playing a G sharp. 4th finger at 7, the octave A. Now you just keep going. First finger on the 3rd string at 4 is B. 3rd finger at 6 is C sharp. 4th finger at 7 is D. Move to the 2nd string at the 5th fret. Your second finger is playing E. 4th finger at 7, F sharp. Move to the 1st string at 4th fret. First finger, G sharp. Second finger at the 5th fret, A. Second octave. Now, descending is exactly the same fingering played in reverse. So what you do now is pause and play ascending and descending, nice and easy, smooth it out, and bear in mind the notes you're actually playing. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. And then do it in reverse if you can, right? And spend a little time here and smooth it out and get comfortable with the pattern that your fingers are playing. If you've done this before and you know this pattern, just consider it a little bit of review. All right? The Dorian mode starts on the second scale degree of the Ionian mode. Now we've established that the Ionian mode is in A. So the second scale degree, the second note of the Ionian mode in A is B. Right there at the 7th fret on the 6th string. So that is our starting place. So you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner, we start with B and just continue through the scale tones to C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, and then the octave B. In the lower left-hand corner, you see the pattern. It's very different from the Ionian pattern. We start at the 7th fret of the 6th string, and that's our root tone, and that's B. You go up to 9 on the 6th string, and that is C sharp, 3rd finger. 4th finger plays at the 10th fret, and that's D. Move over to the 5th string at the 7th fret, and that is E with your 1st finger. Now, instead of your 3rd finger, you're going to play with your 4th finger at 9 on the 5th string, and that is F sharp. This allows you to go to the 4th string, at the 6th fret with your 1st finger more easily. If you did your 3rd finger, that's a reach and a stretch. If you go your 4th finger to get here, your finger is automatically right there. So 4th string at the 6th fret with your 1st finger, G sharp. 2nd finger at 7 is A. 4th finger at 9 on the 4th string is B, and so the octave. Keep going. Your 1st finger at 6 on the 3rd string is, what is that? C sharp. 2nd finger at 7 on the 3rd string, D. 4th finger at 9, E. Now, we're going to shift back up to the 7th fret with your 1st finger on the 2nd string at, the 7th fret, and that is F sharp. Your 3rd finger plays the 9th fret on the 2nd string, and that is G sharp. Your 4th finger plays the 10th fret on the 2nd string, A. 1st finger at 7 on the 1st string, B. 2nd octave. Very different sounding, isn't it? Now, descending is the same pattern in reverse, same fingering as well. Here on the 3rd string at 9, 4th finger. 4th finger at 9 on the 4th string. 4th finger at 9 on the 5th string, shift back to the 1st finger at 7 on the 5th string, then so that you can reach the 10th fret on 6 with your 4th finger. And there you have it. So now, pause, play up and back through this pattern. And bear in mind your root tones. And if you stop on a root tone, it will keep you centered in the Dorian mode. You will hear the Dorian mode scale only. All right? So spend a couple of minutes doing that. All right, there's your overview of modes, and now also you've gotten a little deeper into understanding the idea of what the Ionian mode is about and what the Dorian mode is about. And you can hear the mood differences between them. Very stark, right? And that's the point. To help you reconsider the idea of learning modes, that it's not this big scary beast and hard and difficult to understand. I've tried to make this very straightforward and easy to help you be able to play and get it, right? One of the main benefits in learning modes is when you're learning songs by the artists that you want to emulate. You want to play songs by certain groups. Well, the likelihood is that a lot of them are using modes to create the mood and the atmosphere for the song. When you understand that given mode, it's going to peel open your ability to learn that song quicker because you'll know the scale and you'll know other aspects about how the progression is put together, right? So if you are interested in actually digging into and learning modes, you go over to my patreon.com Outsmart Your Guitar channel, subscribe at the Backstage Pass level, and you will have access to my modes lessons. I'm developing them and putting them up as we speak. So you'll have access to all of that to help you dig into understanding that mode, how it works, how it's put together, how to navigate up and down the fretboard and apply it in a musical context. All right? So make sure you check that out. For now, this will do, as I said, and I've got the next lesson en route, so we'll see you there.